wife was even going to let me put nails in the wall over here and put all my...
It's all in this book, Lance by Chance. It's a first-person account by Lance Vaugh, also known in the wrestling world as Lance Von Erich.
Lance Von Erich, who is not an actual relative of the Von Erich wrestling family, was a wrestler who was brought in because, due to the death of David Von Erich. He was a bodybuilder and a weightlifter, but he wasn't a wrestler at all.
The author is Vinny Berry, who grew up about 10 miles from the Von Erich family.
I think they were a little bit bigger than celebrities. Not only were they kind of had like rock star status.
The book goes deep into the wrestling world. It was the top-rated sport of its time.
Back then, it was real. It was real, despite of what people would say.
Eventually, Fritz Von Erich, the father, revealed that Lance was not a relative, and the fans, he says, turned against the Von Erichs. Plus, there were other problems.
Because when the tragedies came, and there were a lot of tragedies, when all these wrestlers were dying in Dallas, Gino Hernandez overdosed, Mike Von Erich committed suicide, then Kerry Von Erich had his motorcycle accident and eventually ended up committing suicide.
After a year and a half in Dallas, Lance Vaugh went on to wrestle for 10 years overseas. The book itself gives you a big insight into what wrestling used to be.
I think if you grew up watching world-class wrestling, I think you're going to walk away with a little more understanding of what kind of happened behind the scenes and the tragedies that happened up there.
Right now, Vinny is getting a lot of orders for the book.
You can purchase the book online at www.lancebychance.com, and the book is called Lance by Chance, Wrestling as a Von Erich.
It was the biggest sport at one time.
A lot of these wrestlers, because of what they put their bodies through, a lot of them aren't living, to a very old age.
For Channel 5 News, I'm Rick Diaz on Mijan.
What do you say, brother?